Hey, we have liquid-cooled RTX 4090s in stock, and if you want to figure out how we were able to fit two in a single system, you're not going to want to go anywhere. I'm here.
I'm here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us today on AVA Direct Custom Computers YouTube channel, where AVA Direct is a leading manufacturer and system integrator of custom and unique system solutions, which we are going to talk about today. I'm Joseph Mundy, Sales Manager.
And I'm Wesley Boyer. You might know me as the man behind the Discord chat.
So the system we're here to talk about today is a dual RTX 4090 liquid-cooled system, and I say liquid-cooled in the sense that the CPU and both GPUs are liquid-cooled with closed-loop systems, but still, I mean, you see a lot of tubes running in and out of this thing, and that's because each component that is major, being the CPU and the GPU, has a radiator attached to it with fans to keep this thing super cool. So enough rambling about the cooling of the system. Let's get on to the specifications, because I'm sure Wesley also wants to know, right?
I mean, absolutely.
Just dying to know.
I am.
Dying. So, as I said, PCO 11 chassis, it's the XL model, and that's what allows us to just shove everything inside of it with room for days. And, you know, it's a little crowded in there, but it's functional, and that's all that matters. When people build systems like this, they're looking for functionality,
Absolutely.
right, over aesthetics. There are ways you could make this more aesthetically pleasing, and that's when, if somebody were to approach me and say they wanted all this hardware in the system, but they also want it to look awesome, that is when I would opt for custom liquid cooling, because then you could have the best of both worlds. You could have function and you can have the aesthetics in a controlled fashion to make sure it looks pretty.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So PCO 11 XL case. So generally for workstations like this, you always have boards that are designed and marketed to be for workstation use. ASUS has the ProArt. MSI has the ACE boards. And the major difference between these kinds of boards and like your traditional either gaming or mid-range consumer boards is the PCI Express slot spacing. They are traditionally spaced to accommodate having 3 slot cards stacked upon one another. And that is, again, another major benefit of having all-in-one cooled RTX 4090s. You can get away with 2 slot spacing because the brackets are they fucking 2 slots? Yeah, because the brackets are 2 slots. I had to double check to make sure, because even though I can see 2 slots in the back, there could still be 3 screw holes because some card manufacturers design it that way. I don't know why, maybe for sports, but still, that's another thing. The cards are going to weigh less, so there's less sag, which has increasingly become a problem. Some GPU manufacturers are starting to see stress cracks on where the PCI pins meet the card because of the weight of cards. So they are imploring a lot of end users, as are we, to look into brackets or supports for really heavy cards. Anytime you liquid cool a card, that's really not a problem anymore because you drop the weight of it in half practically. Even though some of the water blocks are a little chunky, it's still a non-issue. Memory is 128 gigs of Kingston's DDR5. It is rated at 5200 MTs, but with 128 gigs, don't be surprised if you start to see it at 3600 MTs. That tends to be what board manufacturers and what manufacturers of CPUs, Intel or AMD, state they can guarantee, which if you're installing 128 gigs into a system anyway, chances are speed is going to be not a concern.
Absolutely.
Because you're going for the bulk of it. Powered by an EVGA 1600 watt titanium rated power supply. Still don't see power supplies at 1600 watts with an ATX 3.0 certification through the 12 plus 4 pins, but what can you do? I'm sure we'll see them sooner or later, but we're just not at that point yet. Got an EK all-in-one 360mm Elite cooler. I would continue to go on about specifications, but Wesley just took the paper from me, so I'm flying blind here.
Got 3 Samsung 2TB 990 Pros inside that bad boy as well.
3! Not 1, not 2, not 4, but 3! Primary reason for that would be you have your operating system disk, you have your scratch disk, and you have your whatever the hell you want to put on a disk. Doesn't matter. The redundancy is fantastic, especially since flash storage has a mean time between failure based on the amount of data you read and write on it. So when you spread your workload across as many disks as you can, you are just introducing a level of reliability that simply does not exist when you use a single flash drive.
It's important.
Very important.
And if you know me at all, which a lot of you do from older videos, I love storage. Love it. You can never have too much, honestly. They should have had 4 terabytes. What do you do?
They do. Samsung doesn't have. Yeah, Samsung 4 terabytes.
In this.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to say, man, when you have to stick to a certain budget, you got to prioritize where the money goes. Clearly, the money went into the 7950X processor and the two RTX 4090s, and a 1600 watt power supply costs a nickel. It's like $550 or so, more or less.
Wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
I would venture to guess that if all of these were 4 terabytes, that's going to add another $200 to $300 per drive. So that's $600 to $1,000 almost.
Personal preference, honestly. I mean, God.
Skim a little off the top.
God.
Sometimes that makes a huge difference, especially I'm pretty sure they bought a total of 12 systems from us around there. So times 12 by 5, that's significant amount of savings to stay within a budget. You know, when you're buying more systems, your budget becomes a little bit more confined. The more systems you're buying, especially, because that can make all the difference. That could have afforded them an additional system or upgrades across the board that made more sense, you know?
Really curious. What are they going to do on this thing?
So, what are they going to do? Lots of rendering. Tons of rendering for days, hence why they have two RTX 4090s. That tends to be a real focus for a lot of our clients. We build a lot of rendering boxes, and many of you out there just assume, because whether it's our website design or the colors that we use on our website, that we are primarily a gaming PC company. It's really a small portion of it. Power supply doesn't have 12-pin power connectors. That could have cleaned up things a little bit, maybe. But again, there isn't anything available in 1600 watts, and I wasn't about to quote a 1200 watt power supply for a system like this just for the sake of having native 12 pins. And even still, ATX 3.0 power supplies are only providing a single 12 pin per power supply. So dual RTX 4090 systems are just not something that I guess manufacturers ever anticipated, which is strange.
But we did.
Yes. And in fact, you will want to stay tuned for future videos because we have something even bigger in store as it relates to multi-RTX 4090 systems.
Oh, it's wild.
It is wild.
It is wild.
And if you're interested in buying a system like this for yourself, there will be a link in the description below, as well as the SKU for it if you have any questions or concerns as it relates to the build and you want to get in touch with our sales department.
You could also reach out on our Discord as well.
So I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedule to watch this particular AVARigs. Do make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us by clicking the notification bell below the video so you can be notified anytime we have some systems like this. You will want to know more moving forward about what we're up to because things are only going to get more exciting as 2023 continues to unravel.
Absolutely. And who knows? I might be back again. Who knows?
He's going to be back again. So once again, I am Joseph Mundy.
I'm Wesley Boyer.
PC in the video, be sure to contact our sales team by emailing sales@aviadrock.com or head to the website by clicking the link within the description below. You can choose from many pre-built options, gaming or workstation based, or use the configurator to build the PC of your dreams. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you can be notified of future content and give the video a like in support of our channel. You can follow the variety of our social media channels by visiting aviadirect.com/community. And you can also join our Discord if you wish to engage in discussions related to custom-built PCs.